My name is Hambrick, and I did a business-only exchange in Prague.
Howdy everyone, my name is Winkler, and I'm an exchange student at the Prague School of Economics and Business.
In my host country, well, in Prague, there's like 7 different parks. Like there's some in the middle of the city, or some next to the river, and then like some out in nature. And so me and my friends would always like go to those every week, and it was super fun because it was like a hike and you can see over the city or get a drink, and it was like a super fun time.
One of my favorite things to do whenever I travel is to get to know the people of the place. So I found my favorite coffee shop here, and my favorite thing that I've done is I've gotten to know the local owner of this coffee shop. He's had the coffee shop for 6 years. He's the only one that works there, and I love just sitting there and seeing the locals come and interact with David and really getting to know his side of Prague, and hearing his stories have just been so fascinating to me that it's making me want to return to this coffee shop time and time again. The coffee shop is Café v Klidu. Another one of my favorite things since living in Prague is taking short little day trips. So I've been to Kutná Hora and Český Krumlov and Karlovy Vary, and all these places are just a few hours by bus or train, and you get to see another side of Czech Republic that isn't shown in Prague. And again, getting to know the people there, getting to know that little city specific culture has been so much fun, and I've loved going to these little places.
Some hidden gems are Manifesto Market, which is like an open seating market, but it has like different types of food. Like it literally has like barbecue, Mexican food, Czech food, like anything you could want, and it's a really good place to meet people. And then like some local knowledge, I think like the most important thing would be to like know what to say in a grocery store, because those are the only people who won't speak English. Everyone will, but they will not, so you should pick up on that before you go on your trip.
One of my recommendations for students coming to Prague is to see the narrowest street in Prague. It's really kind of anticlimactic, but it's so fun to kind of go down the street that has a sign, a crosswalk sign, when you can go, when you can't go. Super narrow, takes like 4 seconds, but it's just fun to do, and I don't think any other place has that. Prague is also known as the city of 100 spires, and a lot of these spires are with churches. Now, the best way to visit these churches is to go on Sundays when they don't charge entry, but I will have to say you have to be respectful for the service that's going on. You have to be quiet, but this is the best time to see the churches without having to pay if that's something you're interested in. I would also recommend finding a local church community if that's something that you're interested in. I found a great community at St. Thomas, which is an English-speaking Catholic young adult group. My best food recommendation for Czech food is to go to Kavelská Koruna. This place is near Old Town Square, and it's essentially a canteen where a lot of students go, and they give you a ticket and you go to the counter, they write what you want on your ticket, and it's just like a school cafeteria. And you have to get the svíčková, which is a common Czech dish with creamy vegetable soup, a side of pork, and 4 dumplings. I won't spoil what a dumpling is for you, have to figure out when you get here. So one of my recommendations, again, is if you're studying in the Prague School of Economics and Business, is to go behind the school, uphill for about 5 minutes, and you end up in this beautiful park. Now this park is well known by the expats that live in the area, by locals. There's a beer garden not far from here, and students just come, lay down on the grass, and watch the sunset behind me. And it's really just a great place to come and chill after class, and it's become one of my favorite spots. So finally, my last recommendation is to look below when you're walking on the streets of Prague. You'll notice so many different cobblestone patterns, and each street is different than the next street. Even when you're watching movies, you can figure out they're filming in Prague based on the cobblestone patterns that's unique to Prague. It's called a mosaic here. I actually learned a lot about these Prague mosaics based on this YouTuber called Honest Guide. He's a Prague local, he's loved by the people here, and he gives a lot of tips and tricks for tourists coming here to avoid scams, to check out the best places. Once you're finished looking below at the beautiful cobblestones, look up above door frames, especially in Old Town. There's different symbols and paintings there that are used as house numbers back in the day, and they're still preserved there as well. So one of my favorite little fun games to play by myself is when I see one of those symbols on the door, I try to guess what the name of the house was. You'll see the Golden Crown is very popular, but there's also like 3 pigs and then like a wolf head and a baby head. Just fun trying to figure out what they were called back in the day.
If you are planning on going in the spring semester, I would definitely recommend packing for like extreme weather conditions, but also don't forget summer clothes, because like once April and May comes around, you're gonna want to be wearing shorts, and you're probably not gonna have any. So I would definitely pack for both seasons whenever you go.
One of the culture shocks that I faced coming here was saying hello and goodbye every time I entered like a store or a small restaurant. You know, it's very common for the storekeeper to greet you and say "Dobrý den" as you walk in, and then naturally you respond "Dobrý den." And the same thing as you leave, they say "Nashledanou" and you respond "Nashledanou." It's just something that we don't really do in the US, but it's very common and expected to do while you're here. So that's all that I'd like to share with you about Prague. I love it here. It's become my home away from Maggieland. And something I didn't mention is behind me, you can see St. Vitus Cathedral next to the Prague Castle and Petřín Tower, which is the small little Eiffel Tower. If you come here, you can see it at the garden, but you may not be able to see on the video. So yeah, I hope you trade in your howdy for an ahoy here at Prague, Czech Republic. And yeah, ahoy.